some stuff that doesn't really concern him, that shouldn't concern him, or some of my friends share things with me that they don't necessarily want me to share with him, or you know, maybe there's something that I'm having trouble working up the courage to tell him, and I just need to kind of power through it, things like that. Things I don't necessarily want him to come across, and that doesn't mean that I have anything to hide. It's just my secret garden. And so I would understand if he had the same kind of I can give you my phone, but I won't let you have free access to it, which I understand.
Yeah, and also each person can have their privacy, whatever that may look like. It's like I find it even a bit ridiculous that one would have to like justify not giving their phone password to someone because it's basic privacy, even with your partner. I think this you don't have to share everything with your partner, and that's a topic all on its own.
Yeah.
There's certain things that it's okay to have private as long as it's not hurting anyone, as long as it's not cheating or having like dark secrets that you're hiding and whatever it is, you're entitled to your own little world, your own little bubble, your privacy, and that's it. And I think having to share your phone password is sort of like an underlying issue that has nothing to do with the phone
Yeah,
password.
I
It's
completely agree.
if you feel the need to have your partner's password to their phone, to the computer, whatever it is, I think it's either because you don't trust them, maybe they're being suspicious, maybe they aren't untrustworthy, and then that's an issue to instead of like insisting on the password, you just go and solve that issue, or you just have trust issues. Maybe it's from past relationships, maybe it's because you're dating all of the wrong people,
Yeah.
or just something within you that you need to work on that, because a lot of times we don't trust ourselves, so it's hard for us to trust other people, or we don't know what we want. So we, I don't know, we go for all the wrong people. We don't know how to choose them, and then there's like this vicious cycle of
And I with the thing with trusting other people, I completely, agree with you. And, it's weird. And it rarely happens that I have the French coming up and not being able to translate it. But basically, in French, I would say "je vais dans ton sens," which translates to "I'm going in the same direction as you."
yeah,
Um, Whereas I understand, like, if there's a past that, if you have got a past of dating the wrong people and like you've got trust issues, I understand. But if you are now having to ask for people's phone passwords and like it becoming a whole thing, you need to,
Mhm.
then you're not ready to get into a healthy relationship. If you're going into a relationship with that mindset, you're just not ready for it. It's kind of like, alcoholics who can't go to a bar or who can't be around people who drink. I understand that you can't do that. And if you can't do that, then, if you are feeling uneasy about going to a bar or about going with people who are drinking, then you're not ready for it and you shouldn't be doing it because you haven't really recovered from your own past, which is fine. And you need time, you need to take time to do that. Because today's
yeah,
lots of, alcoholics are able to just go to a bar and have a alcohol-free drink or go to a party and things like that because they are recovered and good for them. And so if you are recovering from somebody who cheated on you or several people and you are still in the need of that, then you're probably not ready.
yeah. I think a lot of times it's also sort of like a trust test, kind of in the sense of, like, if I'm remembering correctly from the Love is Blind episode, they were asking it like, would you share your phone password with me? As if it's like I need to check how like trustworthy you are
Yeah.
and how secretive you are, and if you trust me, and if whatever it is. And I feel like that's not like a testament to whether you can trust them or not. I don't think that's information
No.
that will help you get to know the person. and it's definitely not something that needs to be discussed off the bat. It's not like just raising that issue is causing issues. They're like, why do you need to talk about it now? Like, what's the point of bringing up like phone passwords when you barely even know the person?
Yeah.
You haven't even seen them, and you're already talking about like, I would get defensive if someone asks my phone password. I'm like, why do you need my phone password? Like,
Yeah.
why you like, no, I don't know you yet, or I don't, and it's my phone, even if I don't know, for any
But
reason, even sorry,
well, I
yeah,
mean, just to build on that, if you are looking for something, you will find something.
yeah,
And if somebody can, if JT took my phone, and was like, okay, can I look something up on the internet? And I just gave him my phone, had my phone password, and that was that. But if he had was like, can you give me your password? I want to go into your phone, like, and it seems out of the blue, he could dig really deep and find something incriminating. Like, I'm sure of it.
yeah,
Not that I
your history search, or I don't know,
exactly anything, conversation. I don't know. Sometimes I've got guys from past relationships, well, relationships, you know, dates that come out of the blue and
yeah,
start messaging me again, and I don't tell him about it because it's not that
what's the
deep,
point?
and
Yeah,
but he could kind of come across that and make a whole big thing of it. Or I've got my ex-boyfriend who found a conversation where I was going to meet up with a guy, and he threw this huge fit, and I was like, what are you talking about? And I look at the date and I was like, this was 6 months before we started dating.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like, if you're going to be doing that, if you're going to be looking for something incriminating, you're going to find something. And if you're going to be creating drama, then I don't need that.
yeah. And I also think it sort of creates a tension that doesn't need to be there. You don't have to. It's like creating an environment of mistrust before you've even begun anything. Like you're starting this relationship from the sense of we need to have each other's passwords so we can trust each other.
Yeah.
Or so I don't know, whatever it is. And it's sort of like, I don't know, I feel like each person needs to just trust their instincts and trust the other person. And if you can't trust the other person, then you have to dig deeper and understand why you can't trust them. If it's because of you, because of them, or because of the situation, the relationship, whatever it is. And yeah, I feel like sharing your password is just not a measurement for anything, really. Like it's not, you know,
Especially as if you're going to go down that route, somebody who's cheating will find other ways to cheat.
yeah.
So,
Oh, definitely.
you
Yeah, I
know,
mean, if you want it for that, like that's obviously why you want someone's password to make sure they're not cheating on you or doing anything suspicious. But like, yeah, then it's not gonna be, that's not what's going to stop them. And that's, and you can still find out about it. And if you're suspecting something, then that's when maybe you should ask for a password. But like to start with that on a first date or second date and talk
yeah.
about it as if it's like such an important thing, rust between a relationship. It's like these couples that have to do everything together and feel like they have to share everything and they shouldn't have any privacy. That's not a healthy relationship.
And especially on Love is Blind, where they are, well, dating several people at the same time. They often
Hmm.
say, we don't really see it as a viewer, but when they come out of the pods, they always say, like, I had a tiny connection with this person, I dated this person. Like, we only see the main connections, but they do talk to everyone, and they do have these like
Yeah.
micro connections with a lot of people. And they get a month, like, it's 2 weeks in the pods and then a week of honeymooning. So they get 3 weeks to just process all of these big emotions. And I was just, well, no, then of course there is going to be some, digesting these emotions afterwards and needing to out through all these things, and um, outside life. You know, they,
Hmm.
today it's okay. Let's say you're single. Uh, Sorry, Zev. I think you're an
He'll
amazing
he'll
guy.
he'll forgive you. Yeah.
But let's say you're single and like, you and I, we talk at things like that. And then tomorrow you just end up on going on Love is Blind Israel. And then 3 weeks later, the only thing I get from you is, Alison, I'm engaged. Like, I need to process that with you. We need to process that, in our
Yeah.
friendship. And then you'll have loads of other people who need to process it with you. And so there'll be these really tough conversations that you'll be having that you need time to work through. So you can't really manage your partner's, new partner's feelings about it. So no, don't share your password with somebody that you met on Love is Blind, because you're working through so much that until it's kind of set in your head, you can't really help somebody else, understand all of these things. So
Yeah. Just
for
seeing
all
things
of
out
you
of
who Love is Blind listeners,
context and everything. Sorry, what were you saying?
for all of you people who were on Love is Blind are listening,
Yeah.
don't do that.
No. No, I think it's again, you're also entitled to your privacy and having your own conversations with your friends. You're allowed to, I think, talk to people without having to worry or filter yourself. What happens if Sev ever comes into my phone and reads this and he can misconstrue it and it could look really bad and also, people who share things with you, who have private things, you don't want someone to see it and I don't know. It could be a million
Yeah.
and one things, but like I just I ridiculous of again how you would raise that question of like, would you share your password with me?
Yeah,
As
it's
if that's going to tell you how trustworthy the person is, especially since they can just go ahead and say, yes, of course I'll share my password with you, hon. And then he never does, or he changes it, or whatever it is. I
or
don't
he
know.
has that funny app that kind of unlocks a second version of your phone.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a things. I mean, yeah, I think there's better things you can focus on in the first few
Exactly.
dates.
So
Yeah.
to conclude this topic, we are not
Yeah.
sharing phone passwords.
Yeah, and it's okay to have your privacy. And if you feel the need to ask for someone's password, or if they ask for you and you're feeling iffy, then I think you need to dig a little bit deeper and understand like what the trust issues are here.
I think that's a good way to segment into our second topic, which shall be
Yeah.
a second episode, because
Yeah.
we're doing it properly
Yeah, we're
this
doing
season.
concise. Yes, no
um,
digressing, no digressing.